Hello everyone, welcome to another daily Splatt. Just getting comfy here. Now then, today, continuing with the sort of thing I started a couple of videos back. We did the movies of 2010, now we're in another sort of 2010 reviewy type thing. We're doing the video games of 2010. Now these are all games that I have played, and I'm just giving you my opinion on them. You know, I've missed out on a couple, like I haven't played Gran Turismo 5 or Call of Duty Black Ops, but that said, car racing games and army first-person shooters aren't really my thing. But, you know, feel free to, you know, tell me what you thought of them. That would be lovely. Right, let's get started. List of the games that I played this year. I've actually got some of them here in a pile of boxes. Better move them here. The first one we're going to be talking about is the 2010 FIFA World Cup South Africa game. This game was basically, they released this every World Cup. It's an opportunity for EA to make a bit of money. You can play as, let's see, on the back it says, experience the biggest sporting event in the world, featuring 199 national teams and 10 official FIFA World Cup stadiums. Lead your country to glory online. Basically what you've got to do is you take on your country, whether that be England or Mauritius or South Korea or any of them, as long as they're in here as an officially recognised FIFA team, and you basically get to, I'll just hold it here, you basically get to try and take your team through qualification to win the FIFA World Cup. I haven't really ever bought these games before, and in fact I didn't even want to get this one, but when I pre-ordered FIFA 11, which we'll get to later, if you pre-ordered it with the shop that I got this from, which I believe was Game, you got this thrown in for free. So I got this for free. Obviously I got it a couple of weeks before FIFA 11, got to play it a bit, and it was actually alright. It was pretty enjoyable, slightly different from your standard FIFA game, but good fun. And I got to win the World Cup and also create myself as a striker, and you know, win the World Cup with myself and Jermaine Defoe scoring goals in the final. So that was good fun. Pretty good game. You know, for a football simulator, pretty good. I'd give it 7 out of 10. Pretty good game, and I would play it again, but not right now. I'm enjoying FIFA too much. Okay, next on the list is this is perhaps a contender for Game of the Year. I haven't decided yet. For me, the follow-up to the 2008 Game of the Year, in my opinion. It's the sequel to Fallout 3. Well, you could call it a sequel. It's a follow-on. It is Fallout New Vegas. Yes, as you can see, I got it for $90 from Game Traders. It was on special, and it was a really, really good game. I still haven't finished it. I'm really close to the end. I haven't quite got around to finishing it because I'm trying to get to every location on the map, and it's pretty big. I've got about 50 more locations to get to before I can then go and do the mission that I know will be the finishing mission. But from what I've played so far, wonderful game, and I would give it, you know, a 10 out of 10, but for the factor of it is an extremely buggy game. There are quite a few problems that I think they haven't sorted out because the game was rushed into being released, and I think that basically Obsidian and Bethesda could have done a better job with it. So many bugs. Now, I've had to turn it off and on quite a few times, and that is the one annoying thing from what is an otherwise absolutely brilliant game. It does feel a bit like an expansion of Fallout 3, but it's a massive expansion. I particularly enjoyed stuff like the hardcore mode feature, which just added an extra level of, oh no, now I need to find some fancy lady snack cakes, or bottled water, or, you know, something like that. Wonderfully enjoyable game. They kept the whole wit of the Fallout series as well, which was good to see. And it's kept me enthralled, and I promise I will finish you naughty little thing. I will finish it soon. I'm actually playing through Assassin's Creed 2 at the moment, and I feel I should get that finished before I finish this. Right, next on the list, Fallout New Vegas I would give an 8.5 out of 10. Right, they lose the 1.5 marks for the bugs, because they are quite an issue. Right, FIFA 11. I've been playing the FIFA games pretty much since FIFA 03. I've still got them all. Occasionally go back on some of the older ones and go, gee, wow, you know, Roy Keane's playing for United and stuff like that. FIFA 11, of course, as you can see, the cover artists, the cover players, not artists. You know, you've got Kaká, you've got Rooney, and you've got Tim Cahill, because this is the Australian edition. it's just brilliant. I love the FIFA games, and the reason I keep getting them though is because they always manage to improve each of the previous games by about 10%. You know, I thought FIFA 10 was the be-all and end-all, then I played this and it was just so fluid, it was so wonderful. There are still areas they can improve as well. But this game has not felt as limited as some of the previous titles. They've just gotten so much better at it. It's an absolutely brilliant game. My only complaint with the game is that when I was managing Manchester United on the hardest difficulty setting, after 6 seasons where I'd won the league every season, I'd won 3 European Cups and stuff like that, I got fired because I lost 2 games in a row to Chelsea and Bolton. So annoyed. But, absolutely beautiful game. I'm not going to let that affect my score. This is genuinely, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. There's just a couple of features that I feel that could be tweaked in the management mode, perhaps slightly more in-depth stats, you know, that sort of thing. Wonderful game though, absolutely brilliant. If you're a football fan, I would recommend you buy it. Brilliant game, and might even be game of the year. I try not to give it to the FIFA games because I always love them so much. We'll wait and see. Right, next on the list is this game, Final Fantasy XIII. I am a big fan of Final Fantasy X, which even now still remains my favourite video game of all time. Just absolutely brilliant game. I bought Final Fantasy, and it was the first Final Fantasy I played, Final Fantasy X, and it was brilliant. So when Final Fantasy XII came out about 4 years ago, I thought, oh, well actually it's almost 5 years ago now, I thought, oh, this could be just as good. And it wasn't. It was still a decent game, but it didn't capture the magic of 10. It was still a great game mechanic, but the story didn't keep me interested. This one was almost the complete flip. A somewhat interesting story, although I felt much less attached to it than in other ones. I thought it was quite interesting as a piece. Hello, just recording. Oh, hello everyone out there on the internet. This is Charlie.
What game did you get?
I'm just reviewing Final Fantasy XIII.
Games suck.
Yes, it does. I'm getting to that point. Anyway,
all the Final Fantasies suck.
Final Fantasy X is excellent. Ignore this
Sucks.
kid. Anyway, can you just go while I finish this?
See you.
Okay. That's Charlie, everyone. More on him later. Now then, yes, Final Fantasy XIII was ultimately disappointing, I felt. I would give it technically reasonably good, but just didn't capture me at all, didn't enthrall me. Definitely the biggest disappointment of 2010. Get to 3 out of 10. Try harder, Square Enix. Now, 4 more to go. I haven't actually owned more than 4. Halo Reach is next. I don't actually own a copy of Halo Reach, but I've played it quite a lot at friends' houses. I can say it's definitely the best of the Halo games. You know, I really liked Halo 2. This is even better than Halo 3. I did quite enjoy, but not as much as 2. Halo Reach, absolutely magnificent. 9 out of 10. You know, just brilliant. You know, still definitely the best first-person shooter game out there. Really loved it. Brilliant game. Actually, you know what? Yeah, it probably gets 9 out of 10, probably just because I don't actually like first-person shooters that much, but I love playing Halo. I love playing it for a little bit. We're getting interrupted by all sorts. There's a fly here. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Great game. This game, the first game that I got this year, Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain, in case you don't know, is a detective-type crime-solving game. You play as 4 characters, and you have to try solve the disappearances of these young boys who are about 10 to 12 that have been taken and then killed by this character called the Origami Killer. You can see there's some origami on the box. Brilliant game, very intuitive, all quick time events, you know, that sort of, you have to react and press the X button or twist it with the analog stick and stuff like that. Some people didn't like it. I absolutely loved it, and you know, it had me right from the start because the game has a very long install time, as do a lot of PlayStation titles. But they knew Heavy Rain, the makers, was going to have a particularly long install time because of the amount of detail in the game, the amount of memory for the graphics. So what they did is, inside the box, they gave you a piece of paper that you could fold, and basically, while it was loading, he says, "Why don't you make your own bit of origami?"